Hello, Kane Cougars. My name is Chelsea Leon, and I am the Vice President of Programming for Student Organization. I would like to welcome you to Kane University's annual Black History Month celebration kickoff. This year, we will be celebrating the national theme of the Black family and its representation in our identity, culture, traditions, history, and community. Our historical roots in Africa should continue to be honored, not only during this month, but every day of the year. Black men and women have continued to strive for greatness by breaking down barriers that seemed impossible to overcome. Our ancestors will be proud to see a generation filled with so much poise and success. Today, Kane University's president, Dr. Lamont Repollet, will join us with his opening remarks, followed by a solo singer, dancers, and spoken word performances from our Kane student body. While we celebrate our many successes this month, we should not forget those who are unable to celebrate another year with us. So at this time, let us take a moment to remember those we have lost this past year. Please join us with the ceremonial raising of the Pan-African flag by the President of the National Council of Negro Women, Micaiah Baker.
Welcome to Kane University's Black History Month celebration. As the first Black president of Kane University, I'm proud to be here with you for this important virtual event. I thank the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion and Student Affairs, among many other groups across campus, for organizing a tremendous series of events to mark Black History Month. Since 1976, we have celebrated Black History Month as a nation. I am grateful for the opportunity for all of us to come together to reflect on the history, rich culture, achievements, and profound influence of Black Americans in our country. Carter G. Woodson, known as the father of Black history, wrote that he wanted a history that would ensure that the world see the Negro as a participant rather than as a lay figure in history. However, we all must recognize that Black history is American history. It is not separate from the nation's struggle and progress. In fact, it is an integral part of what defines us as a nation. I have been vocal about making sure African American history is taught throughout the curriculum and throughout the school year in grades K to 12 in New Jersey. When we accomplish that, we will have taken an important step in creating the more perfect union, envisioned by our nation's flawed but inspired founders. We know that our perfect union is still just a promise. We are not there yet. To get there, we all must play our part. This month, we celebrate the contributions of great civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, and Harriet Tubman. Some of them paid the ultimate price for leading the fight against social injustice. Their legacies remain beacons of our light in our current dark times of civil unrest over racial inequities in law enforcement and elsewhere, and a vocal and active opposition to equal rights for all. We must summon the courage to take our place among these civil rights heroes, to break down barriers and to rail against injustice to overcome our darkest days. In the words of John Lewis, ours is not the struggle of one day, 1 week, or 1 year. Ours is not the struggle of one judicial appointment or presidential terms. Ours is the struggle of a lifetime, or maybe even many lifetimes, and each one of us in every generation must do our part. It's not just in the fight for civil rights where Blacks have made their mark. What would the world be without African Americans in the arts? Think of the world without Mahalia Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Sam Cooke, Nina Simone, and the Temptations. Without authors Langston Hughes, James Baldwin, Maya Angelou, August Wilson, and Toni Morrison, or dancer Misty Copeland. There are too many to name, but this month we recognize them all. In the sciences, Dr. Kizmika Shanta Corbett, an African-American woman, is a lead scientist at the National Institute of Health who helped develop and produce the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine. Let's all make sure to remember her name. In the arts, science, business, politics, sports, and throughout society, Black Americans have led the way and they continue to do so. The recent inauguration of our first female vice president, first Black vice president, and first vice president of Asian descent, Kamala Harris, point towards the future. We have also witnessed the first Black United States president, Barack Obama. Here's the thing. Once those doors of opportunity open, you can't shut them. You, Cane Cougars, can do the same. I want you to walk through those doors and climb higher in your own careers. Work hard at Cane. Take advantage of every opportunity we offer, and please dream big. Look at me. As some of you may know, I grew up a military kid. My parents were in the Army, so we moved across the country, and I attended 7 different schools in 13 years. My high school counselor in Carteret introduced me to the EOF program at the College of New Jersey. Mentors in that program led me to find a path to stick with it. From there, I became coach and a math teacher. I earned a master's degree right here from Cane and later a doctorate, allowing me to climb higher in my career and ultimately become the president of Cane University. My dream career wasn't handed to me. It took drive, determination, a solid support system, grit, and unwavering in my faith and my ability to achieve beyond any societal expectations I had learned. It is the same for you. In ways big and small, you will change the world. At Cane University, diversity and equity are our greatest strengths. In fact, U.S. News and World Report recognized Cane as a top performer for social mobility. The faculty, staff, and administration at Cane welcomes all students where they are and provide pathways to take them where they want to be, so you can make your own mark in the world now and in the years to come. It's important to harness the power of our personal experiences, to value your identity and tell your own story. I also encourage you to listen. Engage people with views different from your own. Share your perspective, but also listen with respect. Together, we can find ways to overcome our modern day struggles. Have pride in what you know, who you are, and all that has brought you to this university, because you already are ahead of the game. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, around 25% of Blacks aged 25 and older had earned a bachelor's degree in 2019. This chance at higher education is yours to take, and we are here to help you climb higher. Together, we can awaken Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream of a nation where people are judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin, and work towards a better, more equitable future for all. One example of how we are meeting that responsibility at Cane University is through our new Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. This DEI team is focused on initiatives that will ensure all prospective students, current students, and employees are treated fairly so we all have a chance to thrive. We must shed our complacency, reflect on our strengths, and explore how we may learn and grow in order to achieve racial parity and dismantle systemic racism and bias. We are committed to doing just that. Today, we at Cane University are forging our commitment to recognize, amplify, and celebrate the Black community with this official proclamation. Whereas, since the inception with the first Negro History Week by Carter G. Woodson and the Association for the Study of African American Life and History in 1926, Black History Month has long been a time for all Americans to gather in thoughts and action and honor the spectacular but often understated accomplishments of Black Americans in the field and endeavors throughout our nation's history. And whereas a community, Cane University, dutifully and proudly continue this tradition today, ushering a vibrant new season of reflection, education, and celebration of the immense contributions of Black Americans. And whereas this year, in tandem with the national theme of the Black family, representation, identity, and diversity, as a campus community of students, faculty, and staff, the families we all belong to, we demonstrate our dedication to the tenets of diverse and equitable inclusion with campus-wide initiatives and club events scheduled throughout this auspicious month. And whereas Cane University strives to promote and support representation and inclusion in our community, ensuring that we deliver on our promise of access and opportunity for students, faculty, and staff as we climb higher in 2021 and onward. Now therefore be it proclaimed that Kane University will continue to learn, celebrate, and empower the Black community, not just during Black History Month, but every day thereafter. Adopted and duly certified February 1st, 2021. Thank you.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stormy the road we trod, bitter the chasing rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat and not a weary feet, come to the place for which our parents sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading a path through the blood of the Scion. Now from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is fast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy mind led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places of God where we met thee, lest our hearts drunk with the wine of the world we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What is it like? What is it like to have a life without color? When you look out your window on a crisp November afternoon and you see autumn drifting into its slumber, drifting from its peak of bloom, do you not see him in all of his vibrancy then? All of rich coppers and ripe oranges dotted with slivers of lime and spearmint green. Are they not known to those justified eyes? Can you not marvel at nature's award ceremony as she hands out medals of bronze and gold to every twiggy branch, to every proud tree? Will your eyes refrain from applause towards each talented feature that makes every individual's majesty? Is it just black and white? What about spring? When you look out your window on a mild May evening and the sun is still at full force and spring is at its greatest gayhood, do you not cherish her multicolored smile? The dewy emerald of watered grass, hugging the giggling hyacinths and cackling crocuses, who laugh until they are purple in the face. How can your eyes not open up to such a spectacle? I would grow so somber if I could not see the marriage between the beaming golden sun and the teary-eyed sky, kissing as they make their wholehearted I do's and announcing their union in the form of red and orange, yellow and green, blue and violet, without a care in the world. Wouldn't you? Or do you just prefer black and white? Do not get me wrong. I pity your affliction, but I cannot understand how your eyes ignore the beauteous complexity of diversity.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Zawadi African Drum and Dance Experience. My name is Dion, and I'm here, and I have the pleasure to drum with this maestro of musicians, Clyde. So in this virtual world, we don't have applause, so I hope you're cheering and you're clapping for us at home. But again, as I said, my name is Dion. I have the pleasure today to play for you some rhythms that are from the traditional culture of Guinea and the Manding people in West Africa. Now, there are many, many traditions, there are many, many songs, many, many tales, many, many rhythms and dances and so on that we could talk about on the continent of Africa, because I'm sure you all guys know that it's a continent and it's not a country. But in that continent, there are so many things to get into, we couldn't cover all of that in a million years. But we're gonna try to give you just a little piece of what it's like to hear the traditional rhythms and see the traditional dances in Guinea, West Africa, in Mali, West Africa, in Senegal, in Senegambia. These are the places where the Manding tradition, as well, believe it or not, as well, here in the United States. And even though you're not familiar, you'd be surprised how many traditions right here in the United States are of the Manding tradition. I know you've all seen Big Mama's House with Martin, where he played a female. Well, that tradition of Big Mama being the boss and being the last word, is a Manding tradition. It's a Manding tradition in the sense that women were not relegated to the role of being just a helpmate, but they were actually the last word, and grandma had the last word. So, Sunday dinners here in America, especially in African American family, and maybe Latino and Caribbean cultures, Sunday dinner was big, big thing. That's where Big Mama said what she had to say, and she laid her rules and instructions down. And some of that is still happening to this very moment. So if you like hip hop, you like traditional African music. If you like jazz, you like traditional African music, and so on and so on. So much of what we experience here in America that we call just black culture is actually world culture. And I think we're in Black History Month, right? And in Black History Month, we have 28 days or so to celebrate the culture of African Americans and those of African descent across the globe. However, the truth be known, if you really look at it closely, black history is world history. And so I say to you, all of you, wherever you come from, whatever language you speak, these drums and these traditions are about bringing people together. In fact, this instrument that I'm playing called the djembe is about bringing people together. We're all one family, we're all one race. There's no need for division. This music and these dances will speak for themselves. It's about community, it's about coming together. Okay, so with that said, I want to play for you with my friend here, Clyde. We're going to play for you a rhythm called Fankani. And Fankani is a celebration rhythm. Many of the rhythms that we play had actual purposes, practical purposes. In other words, we didn't have radios 3,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago, even 500 years ago, and in some cases 50 years ago. So traditional drumming and singing and dancing was super, super important to bringing people together and doing work. So rhythms like fankani and rhythms like lamba were done so that people could feel inspired when they're doing hard work out in the fields, or if they were doing a birthday or something to that nature, or a wedding. So they have practical purpose. Today, because we're out of the village, right, and we have this global virtual village now, many of these rhythms we use simply for celebration. So this rhythm, fankani, I hope you enjoy it, is for celebration. Right after, we want to play for you another rhythm with the dancers included called Liberté, a rhythm about the freedom that Guinean people established for themselves moving away from colonization. That rhythm was put together for that purpose. And then another celebration rhythm right behind that called Makaru, and it's fire. So I hope you like it. Enjoy.
kingdom. Ain't that good news? Ain't that good news? I got a home up in that kingdom. Ain't that good news? Good news. Gonna lay down this world, shoulder up on my cross. Gonna take it home to my Jesus. Ain't that good news? Ain't that good news? Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. God's gonna trouble the water. God's gonna trouble the water. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We shall overcome someday.
As Mama grabbed the comb, she began stroking her daughter's naps, which echoed the sounds of Master's leather straps crackling against the backs of her ancestors. She tilted her head back and said, "Sit still." One lash. Ow! Two lash. That hurt. And before she was able to spurt out her pain, Mama whipped her hair back and forth, mimicking the willow that replaced slaves when they replaced slaves in cages, saying, "Do not feed the monkeys." You see, honey, these naps I'm soothing over are to make up for the dirt naps we have took over and over for reasons we still do not know. These tracks and planner are not of the Underground Railroads. They will only lead you to limitation, like not getting your hair wet on vacation. You'll just be confined to the poolside or down by the bay where the watermelons grew. There is no sin in wearing synthetic. Just know that when you embedded, it cannot replace your roots that have bloomed the guarding of strands that have told being tamed or for lions' dens. No, baby, you came to America. So I want you to let your soul glow. And do not be ashamed of leaving your imprint. Do not look for fiction. You are not to admire Rapunzel. You must never let down your heritage in order to bring up a man. If he is your true Prince Charming, he will find a way. He will comb through the strands. He will split his ends in order to make yours meet for the weak. And he will not be afraid to run his fingers through your guarding of naps that emulate Snorlax and just need a bit of musica in order to get past them. Hand me that barrette, baby. Now let me learn you something. There is no perm in this road that can relax the tension that is weighted above your head. It just makes it easier to look at. Love the hair you inherited. It is your heritage. Now, sit up straight, baby, because tonight you have a date with you.
Wait! Join us on Kane Paul's Instagram Live to earn free giveaways and prizes. Bye!
We hope that you have enjoyed our annual Black History Month celebration kickoff. Please remember that for the duration of February, many organizations will be hosting various events focusing on celebrating Black culture. Do not forget to check out these events on Cougar Link and follow us on Instagram at Kane Pulse. We look forward to continuing to celebrate Black History Month with the entire Kane University community. Thank you.